Mission.
Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I appreciate it. Listen, I've had a lot of people ask me about the ranges I shoot at, and many people have commented in both emails and comments that they wish they could shoot at places where they could move and they could set up targets in different places and shoot multiple targets and stuff like that. Well, you know, we don't all get to do that. Sometimes we don't have access to outdoor ranges that'll allow us to do it. Some of us don't have enough land to be able to do it. I've always been envious of those folks that have a lot of land where they can actually just go in their land and shoot. I can't do that. But I can set up situations like this. You'll notice I've got one target that's fairly close, one that's a little farther away over by that tree, and I'm going to shoot airsoft. Now, it's not quite the same, but if you get a high-end airsoft gun like this one, this is an old one. This is a Tokyo Marui 45 that I bought a long time ago. I think Tokyo Marui is how you say it, I don't know. I bought it a long time ago when my son and I used to have airsoft wars, and it's a gas-operated airsoft that simulates my 1911. It's also got a similar grip to my XDs. So when I come out here and practice with it, it's very similar in the way that it operates. I just don't get as much recoil, and certainly I don't get as much noise. But you can come out and set up stuff like this and do some really interesting things. So you'll notice that there I've got a target that's close, I've got a target a little farther away, and I can practice working with multiple targets, and I can practice shooting and moving, well, kind of like this. I can move, I can shoot around targets, I can do all kinds of neat stuff out in my yard that doesn't disturb my neighbors, doesn't put anybody in danger, and I'm doing it with an airsoft firearm. So it allows me to practice a lot of stuff. Now, it allows me to practice easily because I can just go in the backyard and do it, but it also allows me to practice things I wouldn't otherwise be able to practice on the range, such as shooting and moving like I just was, or for that matter, shooting from some odd positions or around barriers. I'll show you that in a second. One of the obvious things you can do with an airsoft in your backyard is learn to pie corners, which is very difficult to do on a square range because you're assigned a lane and that's all you can do. In your backyard, you can build target stands like these. These were built just out of 2x4s and 1x2s, and I ordered the targets, I think, on Midway USA or some website, and they sent me a whole bunch of them, which is cool. Then all you need is a staple gun and a few minutes, and you've got targets set up. There are other ways to do it, but this is the cheap, easy way. In case you don't have a lot of money, you don't have to go buy targets. Then you can practice pieing corners and doing other things. So you can get up to a barrier and you can pretend you're shooting around it. You can lean out just enough to see your target, and you can put rounds on him. You can change hands and you work the other side if you want to, and put rounds on him. It gives you an ability to practice making sure that your legs aren't extending beyond the cover. Make sure that you're changing hands so you're not leaning too far out behind cover. You can do all kinds of things in your backyard where you're not disturbing anyone, where no one is in danger. It's 100% safe, and it's legal. And you can do that even if you live in the city. I live in the suburbs, but there's houses right next to mine. There's my neighbor on the other side of this fence, as a matter of fact. So I want to make sure I'm not disturbing him. This is a way for you to do that and practice without necessarily having to shoot all the time on the square range. You can practice some of these really advanced and higher functioning skills. Now, if you want to get really interesting, you can kind of shoot like this, where you've taped or stapled two targets onto the board. Gives you an opportunity to work kneeling, to shoot around barriers. You can change hands, you can shoot through the holes. Gives you a lot you can practice that you're not going to be able to practice on a square range or even on a training range. A lot of training ranges will not allow you to do this because they're concerned about the rounds going up and going over the top of the berm or whatever the case might be. So it's very difficult to find a place that's going to allow you to do these kind of things where you're shooting through holes or shooting around kneeling. And then once you got the bad guy, whoop, there's another one. This is the kind of stuff that honestly becomes difficult to do on a square range. You got to be able to do it in an unusual and creative spot. In your backyard might just be that place. Oh, but there's more. Now, you could find yourself in this unfortunate position, and it wouldn't be particularly unusual, I don't think. You've gotten knocked on your butt, and there's your adversary. You could also turn yourself sideways, and there's your adversary, or there's your adversary, however you want to do it. The problem is that on a square range or even a training range, it generally won't let you do this because your rounds are going to be going at an upward angle, and they don't want them lobbing over the berm and hurting somebody on the other side. So they won't let you do this kind of practice except in very rare places. But you can do it with airsoft. Now you notice with this target, I've got a high target and a low target, and I've got my airsoft gun over here. The key is don't shoot yourself in the leg. Make sure you hit the target. That's the important thing. So if I've got a guy that's on the ground too and he's coming at me, I can put rounds on him pretty easily as long as I keep my legs out of the way. And likewise, if he's towering over me, I can put a few rounds on him as well. The key is to be able to practice these things so that we can do them without injuring ourselves, and we can do them quickly and easily. That's not something we can normally do on a square range. We have to do it in a creative environment like your backyard with a high quality airsoft. Now obviously this isn't a solution for everyone. Some people don't have the space, some folks live in places where they can't have airsoft, some folks live in places where they can't shoot BB guns or airsoft in their backyard because it's illegal. I get it, but if you can do it and it's something you wish to do, it is a way for you to enhance your training, which frankly is very effective, and it isn't terribly expensive. Now the things that are expensive obviously are the gun. The airsoft guns, to get a good one, they're pricey. And then the green gas can be pricey if you buy green gas. However, most people aren't doing that anymore. The people I run into all the time are using propane and a little silicone oil, which is all, from what I understand, I guess, is what green gas is propane with a little silicone oil in there to keep the gun oiled. I oil the gun anyway, so it doesn't really, you know, I just use the propane. It works just fine. With a little silicone oil, you buy a little kit, easy peasy. So that'll save you some money there. But the guns, you just don't want to go cheap. You got to buy a nice one that's going to hold up for a while, and particularly if you're going to use it a lot. Ammunition, I wouldn't worry too much about. Buy the ammunition that fits the gun, but I wouldn't worry about getting it too pricey because you're going to be practicing and working up close where, really close accuracy in an airsoft is not there anyway, but you're not going to be that picky about the accuracy because you're shooting at really close distances. But that's going to be the pricey part, is the airsoft gun and the green gas. But the pellets themselves, oh my gosh, those things are dirt cheap if you buy them in bulk. So you can do a lot of stuff in your backyard, a lot of fun. You can even get the pellets, I think. I used to be able to get them that were biodegradable. I assume you still can, in which case you shoot them, they go in your yard, and they just degrade on their own. Well, who knew? So there you go. So hopefully that answers the question about the kinds of practice and places you can practice these sorts of things if you can't get on a range that will allow you to. Well, if you have a backyard, try that. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please support the channel on Patreon, or if you'd like, you can sign up for Second Call Defense. They are a sponsor of ours, and if you sign up for them through our link, which is in the description, or on our website for that matter, either way, at GunGuy.tv, they do pay us a little bit of a commission. Likewise, you can also just shop Amazon Prime or Amazon through our Amazon affiliate link, and it doesn't cost you anything. Every time you buy something, we make a little commission. One way or the other, it does support the channel, since we don't get any advertising revenue from YouTube or Dailymotion or anywhere else, and we don't charge anybody to review products. So the only way we get supported is 100% from you. So I ask you to continue supporting the channel. Thank you again for watching. Have a wonderful week. Please try the airsoft thing. It's really cool. Be safe.